Vezaraku does that during a game, he's fined, but apparently his owner of the team is going to fine him too. What's your reaction to that as our resident Cowboy?
I'm a little mixed on that. We talked about training camp earlier, the dog days of it, the physical, the mentality, the competitiveness. And I get what Jerry's getting at. I understand, like, if it affect the team, I get that. But a fine in training camp from your own team, to me, feels a bit extreme for a fight. And fights have been happening in training camp for years. And now you want to find, I don't agree with that. But the $500K will change your mind about it.
You know what it is? It's the optics of what we just saw. Because I love a good scuffle. I don't mind a little fight. I don't mind a little push and shove. I don't mind a little, punch, push to the helmet. That happens all the time. But you got guys suplexing people, tackling people, squaring up like you're going to fight somebody. That part's embarrassing.
Right.
That part needs to get fined and get out. You can scuffle. Emotions should be high. It should be intense. But there's a line that I think is crossed at times, and we saw that right there, and that's why the fines.
Yeah, this was a little the body slamming was a little much.
Yeah,
it was a little much. But no, these things happen. Jackson Dart, there were fights in the Giants-Dolphins joint practice. Jackson Dart said, we like it because we're trying to establish an identity. So sometimes if you're on the upswing, a team like the Giants, a team like the Saints trying to prove who you are, tempers are going to flare. A team like the Cowboys with a lot of veterans who are more established, they're probably going to take it a little bit easier. But I think this is just the nature of joint practice. You're going to have this sometimes. The fine, especially with players, is a lot.
A $500K fine is extreme.
Yes.
Is that what they're saying they're going to do?
That's what the teams are going to have to incur.
It's not individual players. Find the guys throwing punches because of how silly that is. Right? At the end of the day, you can get yourself hurt and put your team in a bad position. Everybody else, you don't want to be caught on film not scuffling when the fight breaks out. I think that's the other side of this is they're telling you to be intense, and guys are responding to that request.
Well, if it hits the players in their pockets, that might be the one way to stop fights.
Some of them don't have no pockets.
Very
How about
fair.
a millionaire throwing punches
And it's
out
usually
there?
those ones that are fighting.
That don't have
Because they're
no
pushing the
pockets.
envelope in practice.
They're trying to figure out how to make a team.
Very, very fair. Fair point. All right, so speaking of sights, Vikings quarterback Kyler Murray, a little bit on the smaller side at 5'10".
Whoa.
And his head coach Kevin O'Connell revealed that might actually affect the way he sees what's in front of him.
He couldn't see on a play, and he didn't want to tell me that, so he prefaced it with, I know I'm not allowed to say this, but, and, we both got a laugh out of it.
Myron, you got any issue with what Kevin O'Connell revealed there about Kyler Murray not being able to see over his offensive line?
I need to start a PR crisis firm for NFL coaches and just tell them, here's the thing you cannot say in this situation. You cannot say that your 5'10" quarterback can't see over the line. Maybe it's true. Maybe everybody in training camp knows it. Maybe Kyler Murray is telling all of his teammates he can't see. You cannot tell the public that that's the situation with Kyler Murray. Kevin O'Connell's too smart for that. He's seasoned. He's a veteran. Everything's going to be about Kyler Murray's durability, his size. Say anything but that. Your quarterback cannot see over the offensive line because it's only going to encourage the narrative about whether or not Kyler Murray's the guy, whether or not he's big enough in an era full of giant quarterbacks. Come to my PR crisis firm, Kevin O'Connell, and I'll tell you what not to say in these moments.
All right, so first of all, Kevin O'Connell might be the tallest quarterback in football, or excuse me, the coach in football. So this is a little bit of a flex by him. He's like 6'5", he's humongous. So obviously there's gonna be a height disparity with his quarterback in the way he sees things. Having said that, it's true, Myron. Kyler Murray's short. He knows it. He knows he plays with his limitations. I don't hate this because it shows you that they know what the offense is. Kyler's not going to throw a ton over the middle. They're not going to try to throw, in situations where you would need height. They understand their limitations. Nobody's in the dark about this. I'm good with it. Honesty is always the best policy.
Can I tell you something that may surprise people? Every quarterback makes throws every single game that they cannot see. And I don't care how tall you are. If you're 6'2", how big's the average O-lineman?
6'5", 6'6".
Yeah.
His center's 6'7".
Yeah, you're looking into helmets and into backs all the time. And because of practice and because of muscle memory, you know how and where to throw the ball on certain timing concepts. That's just a reality. Now, there's probably a few more throws for him, but it is common for every quarterback that's not 6'7". Just happens.
Myron, I get what you're saying, but I like this. I like the relationship building portion of it. The little hinted laugh. I'm big on communication. And sometimes this to me was about Kevin O'Connell and Kyler Murray's relationship and the things that he's trying to build going forward. Hell, we know Kyler Murray can't see over the offensive line.
But he's like, you don't have to keep that from me. Like, you're my guy.
Exactly.
You tell me how I can
tell
help
me,
you.
And I'm going to disseminate that in the media, and I'm going to have a chuckle about it instead of saying, well, it's a concern and we're going to have to move the pocket and do all of that. Kyler Murray is 5'10". He's been short his whole football career, right? And coaches know that we have to acquiesce and work around that. But I think that was more about his relationship with his starting quarterback.
And what he brought this up, the reason he brought it up is because they were talking about Drew Brees and what he said in his Hall of Fame speech about being on the shorter end.
Yeah.
Struggling at times to see over your offensive line. And Kyler said, I didn't want to admit this,
Yeah.
but in the game against the Giants, I couldn't really see over my offensive line. So private conversation that becomes public, which is, it's fine. It shows you that
But it shows the confidence and the comfortability
in
between
head coach. Yes,
And
they're on the
to me,
same.
like, you ain't revealing something we don't know.
That's fair. Leave some stuff in the group text. Right? That's all I'm saying.
I got you.
Okay, our last campsite takes us to Foxborough, where former teammates A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts were all smiles as they reunited. We caught up with them on the second day of Eagles-Patriots joint practices, and we can't hear what they were saying with this interaction, but let's have some fun here. Jordan, what do you think they were saying to each other?
Yeah, you look good, man. Hey, did you get that text I sent you? No, I didn't see it, man. Oh, I changed my number. Oh, that's why. You know, it just come on. It's kumbaya.
What do you
At
think?
this point, who cares, right? They didn't have a great relationship. It doesn't matter. They don't have to be the best of friends, but they have history together. You can have a laugh and move on.
Man, it's like being friends until you become roommates. We better friends if we don't live together.
Yeah,
Like,
great point.
That's probably what happened. You remember, I don't know if y'all remember the call when AJ got traded to Philly. It was him and Jalen Hurts on the phone looking like it was a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not the case. You get a dude in the building. I got family members. I got 3-day threshold. We have the best time, but you got to go home.
That's it.
After that, because it's going to start weighing on
Yeah.
me. That, like the things you do, the way you live, and all that start weighing on me. So for 72 hours, we are the best. We look like the closest knit family ever. And I think some of this too is I know AJ and I know Jalen well, and both of these guys are very mature young men.
Yeah.
And they understand, like, you know what, bro? We can put whatever to bed and we can move forward. But I think this is more about living together. Probably not. Get you a house down the street. We'll be straight forever.
To that point, I regrettably back in the day, I found a roommate on Craigslist. The first house I bought, I'm like, shoot, let's just find a roommate. Hindsight, terrible idea, but it ended up good. He was one of the best roommates ever. We didn't have a ton in common. We functioned in the same house together. My best friend who lived with me, we fought all the time.
The problem is when you find out your wife like that or your husband. that's when it
That's why you got to
becomes a real
cohabitate
you gotta-
before you get married. Myron, what do you think they're saying to each other?
They're talking about the weather, traffic.
Yep.
You still go to the same barbershop you go to. All the things you say to someone when you know you're not going to talk to them again for a long time.
Wow.
Right? Nothing consequential, nothing of significance. They're just making small talk because they know the camera's on them. And they're just saying, hey, man, you good? I'm good. Yeah, but they're not going to talk beyond this. And I think everybody understands that.
Yeah, Swagoo, I'm with you. This was them trying to get the media to stop talking about their relationship because we have photo evidence now that they're good. I don't think that they hate each other anymore. I don't think they ever hated each other. I think it was workplace disagreements, and that happens. Sometimes we'll see people we worked with 5 years ago, big hug on the street, and you go, hey, I'm actually really mad. They wrote with this article that I wanted to write, and all of a sudden you're going, oh, it's all good now.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing now that they're going through, and so I think it's just to get the media off their back that they're saying, hey, they'll get over this. They'll have a beer in 10 years. It'll be fine.
Sometimes, man, we have to allow guys to go through their process.
Yeah.
They might have hated each other guts and then came around. Like, I get it that the media is there and AJ was asked those questions. I just don't know those two to be contrived like that. Like, hey, man, let's meet so the media stop talking about this. AJ a real one. Jalen a real one. If they ain't fooling with each other, they not gonna do that so the camera stop asking. I just know them well enough to know that they'll just sit up there and be like, we straight, we talk, you know. But again, I think that was both of them recognizing, like, dog, we solid with each other. Like, we don't need to have this narrative going on because it's not real beef between us. I think that's what it was about.
We would be
Maybe I know that's what it was about.
We'd be making a much bigger deal about this if that moment was not, if it didn't happen,
Yes.
if it wasn't captured by the cameras there at